Where does the sun go at night? Islam knows. Quran 18.86. Until when he reached the setting of the sun, he found it setting in a spring of dark mud, and he found near it a people. Is this metaphorical? Maybe, but if one part of the Quran is metaphor, that raises the very difficult question of which other parts are metaphor, and who decides what is true and what is metaphor. Also, the Quran confirms that this is literally true. Sunan Abu Dawood 3991. Abu Dar said, I was sitting behind the Apostle of Allah, who was riding a donkey while the sun was setting. He asked, Do you know where this sets? I replied, Allah and his Apostle know best. He said, It sets in a spring of warm water. So, now we know where it sets. According to the Quran, the sun sets in a spring of dark mud, or maybe warm water, and that's just fine. But the question I want to answer is, where does it go after that? Sahih al-Bukhari 3199 and Sahih al-Muslim 250. The Prophet said to Abu Dar when the sun set, Do you know where it goes? I said, Allah and his messenger know best. He said, It goes and prostrates beneath the throne, then it asks for permission to rise, and permission is given to it. Soon it will prostrate, but it will not be accepted from it, and it will ask for permission to rise, but permission will not be given to it. It will be said to it, Go back to where you came from. So it will rise from its place of setting, and that is what Allah, may he be glorified, refers to in the verse, and the sun runs on its fixed course for a term appointed. That is the decree of the Almighty, the All-Knowing. I'm not sure where this throne is, or how a star can prostrate. You mean it stops moving? That's not possible. But soon it won't get permission to rise, and it will have to go back and rise in the west. It doesn't say how soon before that happens, not in the 1400 years since Muhammad said soon. This whole thing is, of course, complete nonsense, but it's nonsense in so many ways it's worth listing them. 1. The sun does not actually set in a spring of dark mud. 2. The sun does not appear to set in a spring of dark mud. 3. The sun does not prostrate itself. If you don't know what prostrate means, it means lie on the floor full length on your face. 3.1. How can a sphere lie on its face? And 3.2. Where is this floor? 4. The sun doesn't orbit the Earth. It looks like it does because the Earth is spinning, and if you didn't know that, then you'd think that the Earth is still, and everything orbits the Earth. 5. If the sun were orbiting the Earth, it can't suddenly stop. If the Earth is spinning, it can't suddenly stop. Conservation of angular momentum. 6. The sun doesn't need permission to rise. 7. The sun isn't going to rise in the west because of conservation of angular momentum. And yet, Muslims are compelled to believe all this because they are Sahih Hadith, and so they find elaborate contortions to try to justify it, which make for hilarious reading on the internet. Because here are the alternatives. Either believe all this nonsense, or else accept that the Quran could not have been the word of Allah. Thanks for watching this video. If you would like to discuss this with me, you'll find me on Facebook in the Religion Discussion Group. See you there.